Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of, this podcast that we're doing at the moment, let me welcome you to Session 1 of Mechanical Rain, brought to you by the Storm Gaming Alliance. For those of you that have not listened to our Session 0, let me give you a quick catch-up. This is our anime-inspired mech game. I am your GM. My name is Mitch. We have a couple of players joining us tonight, if they would like to take a moment to introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm Rob, and I'll be playing Achilles Crowfang, the Armorer Artificer.
Hi there, I'm Patrick, and I'll be playing Hajime, the Artificer of the Battlesmith variety.
Hey, I'm Jace. I will be playing Isabel, the Storm Barbarian.
And I'm Ricky. I'll be playing Verna Ziert, the Triton Fighter.
For those of you that haven't listened to our Session 0, this game is heavily inspired by one of my favorite things, 90s anime. Specifically shows like Gundam and Zoids and, Super Sentai, anything giant robots fighting other giant robots. Just an absolute blast. At the end of Session 0, these guys experienced a world-altering event where the moon seemed to explode. The shock of it was heard around the world, and a ship appeared in the sky above them. All with the exception of our good friend Achilles, who was taking a nap and then gave himself a concussion. It has been 4 years since that has happened. A lot's changed. These guys have graduated near the top of their class. They are basically the second running team that this school has been able to produce in that time. The school has been locked down and only select students have gone out on missions. So let us get into it. It's the start of another day. The sky above you is crystal clear. The birds are chirping in the air. The river, you can hear it in the background. No students are laughing and celebrating like they were when you first joined the school. The meals have become bland and boring, just enough to survive on. But the Blackwoods have advanced. They have been modified from basic training models into full-on machines of war. The four of you have just graduated, and you are being ushered into Commander Woodrow's office. Where would you guys like to start?
Is he there in his office?
Yeah, like you guys have been called to his office.
Oh, gotcha. I'm going to stop and get something to eat first.
I would have probably made food in anticipation of that after 4 years. There's just a plate of meats and cheeses already laid out on the counter of our room as we're getting that summons. I'm probably working on the construct creature that I've been working on for the past 4 years.
I put a handful of meat and cheese into my jacket pocket.
Gross.
Verna takes a couple pieces as she walks by on her way out the door.
I don't like pocket cheese. I'm just saying.
Look, no one likes pocket cheese until you need cheese.
I suppose. Let's see what the commander-in-chief needs.
Sounds like a plan.
So as you guys leave your dorm room, it's the same room you've been in for the last 4 years. You're met in the hallway once more by Allenby. She's no longer the bubbly woman that you met all those years ago. Her eyes are sunk, her hair is in a tight braid. She looks like she hasn't slept in weeks. And she kind of greets you guys and just, she'll escort you guys up to the office. So as you're waiting to go into Commander Woodrow's office, you hear him on the phone arguing with somebody. You can't exactly make out words, but it's a heated debate. After a few minutes, the door swings open and he calls you guys in.
Say Hajime would follow the group in last, taking out a small stash of sleepy time tea he keeps for himself and just kind of puts a bag in Blueberry's hand before he closes the door.
Allenby, not Blueberry.
Oh, I thought it was Blueberry.
No, Allenby, the student liaison.
Well, still, just plop.
Thank you.
You look like you need it. Sorry.
My brother hasn't been back in a while. You'll find out in a minute. And she kind of walks out, and you just kind of hear her like crying in the hallway. So as you're all ushered into the room, you see Commander Woodrow. He slams his phone down, and he just looks haggard. He's back in his fatigues. He's not really in like the dress uniform that he was in at the start of all of this, and he just looks beat. So I guess by now y'all have noticed that Alpha Squad hasn't been back in a while. And that's where you come in. I was hoping to not have to send you on this mission until you were ready, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm sending you on this important mission. 3 weeks ago, we lost contact with Alpha Squad. They were on a goodwill mission to the nearby city of Mora. At this point, we don't know if they're dead, injured, or captured. As much as I don't want to, I'm left with no choice but to send you guys. This will be your first official mission as a squad. You've been entrusted with these specially outfitted Blackwoods. You have been trained to the best of this academy's ability and have been equipped with the latest, most advanced technology available. Remember your training and work as a team. The situation may be dangerous, but we cannot leave our fellow soldiers behind. Trust in yourselves and in each other, and remember that actions may make all the difference. Good luck and Godspeed. So he kind of gives you guys that whole spiel and lays out some information, and he's just looking at you like, bring our boys home. Anything that you need that we have available is yours. Just have it equipped. Talk to Allenby, talk to Blueberry. They'll get you all set up, and when you're ready to go, we'll get your Blackwoods loaded up.
Anything we can do to help, sir.
Dismissed. And he kind of ushers you guys out. And you walk back through that little waiting room and into the hallway, and you don't see Allenby anymore. So what would you guys like to do?
I guess to the, I want to say garage, but I feel like that's the hangar.
Yeah, I think hangar is the word for it.
The hangar.
Yeah. Achilles will kind of start making his way towards the hangar.
Yeah, Verna's going to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then you guys wander through the sparse campus here. You're not really seeing too many people out in the halls anymore. A lot of the recruits have gone home or have been shipped out to join like frontline infantry kind of groups, not the specialists that you guys have been trained as. You hear a hushed conversation, some of the teachers off in one of the classrooms, and you head out to the hangar. And you're once more greeted by those giant steel doors, and Allenby standing there in front with Blueberry. So what can we get for you guys? What do you need to make this job happen?
Well, you ever start a sentence feeling you have something to say and then blank?
Yeah, several times.
Not once in my life, actually. I have never found a difficulty talking.
I guess what kind of mounted weapons we can get for these things.
And they kind of bring up a control panel here, and it's basically a 3D printer on steroids, and allows you to print whatever weaponry that your mechs need, along with custom armor.
Nice. So we already have our mechs claimed, like the specific kind of mech.
Well, you're kind of using what the school had and you're outfitting them for this mission. So this is where the mech Blackwoods are getting changed into the actual suits that you guys will be using. So they'll be stylized and outfitted with whatever weaponry that your characters will have. You know, it'll be loaded up and all that kind of stuff. And this is an out of game kind of thing. If you guys want to go through then and describe like the armor on your mech and how you look and what weaponry you're fastening for the guys at home, then
I guess I will go first because I have more or less an idea of what I'm doing already. So mine is fairly simplified. Like it's not nothing's like super polished or pristine angles or anything. Like it's very solid and well put together. It's a little bit of a slimmer model. I went for lighter weight armor.
Cool.
And almost like it's almost like where the mech itself is like wearing like almost like a poncho looking thing for a little bit of additional cover. It's got a fairly large plasma rifle kind of like docked on the back shoulder blade. Fairly tall. I mean, it's within what we could do with these things. You know, I tried to make it as tall and lean as I could for speed purposes. You see on the forearms there is copper styled wiring, almost like Tesla coils, and then there's a few hatches and compartments that have definitely been custom added on for general usage abilities that he's kind of custom made over the years. But it's stylized. It's not really painted much. Like there's a little bit of like much like Achilles kind of general style. You know, there's some like ice blue accents to it. Like all the lights have been adjusted, and it's very apocalypse cyberpunk chic.
That is an excellent description. Hajime, the control panel is kind of passed down to you, allowing you to start printing and having the armor and whatnot attached.
And Hajime, being a little bit extra, does go through, starting with the armor set, very stocky, but still shifting scale mail sort of armor to start off with. Made to be a little bit mirrored so he can get a little more defense against any possible radiant type of damage. But he sets himself up with this, taking the time to actually modify and change the armor. So for those of you who know the Artificer class, he makes it a +1 set of armor with his Artificer Infusion. But for this, it's the fancy techno babble. Gets a crossbow made for it, just so he has a ranged weapon that isn't going to draw too much attention, and really makes sure that the armor style and especially the headpiece, it has a more dragony sort of feature to it, and a tail affixed to the back of the hips with a bladed tip to it.
So as you're installing all of this stuff, Blueberry's kind of like looking over your shoulder, like, well, I never thought of adding a tail to one of these things. That's kind of neat.
Yep, I gotta reverse the legs though, because it needs to have counterbalance for the tail, so it's not gonna walk quite like a regular mech, but more like a dinosaur, to be honest. Add another knee, it'll be fine.
That makes sense. Well, if I was a betting girl, and she kind of giggles, I would definitely be putting all my money on you to win this thing, at least for style points.
Style's not really worth anything, but sure, I'll take the compliment.
Oh, hush, honey. Everybody knows that a war is won by the best-looking group.
He's also going to make sure to refit the eyes with night vision.
See? That's what we're talking about. And she kind of yoinks the tablet away from you and hands it to Isabel. What do you got, sweetheart?
Isabel is excited to get to actually customize her mech instead of using the bog standard Blackwoods that they've been training with. And she has one thought in her mind, and that is bird. She gives the mech a set of kind of like owl-like wings, and she actually makes the mech a bit on the smaller side than the standard Blackwood 50 feet, so it's actually closer to 35, 40 feet tall. She makes it like lean and fit for mobility, but with the extra support in the arm joints for the very large greatsword that she has printed for it. Her sword being about the size of her mech, and to fit with the bird motif, the head has almost like a owl-like mask over it, because style points are important.
See? She gets it. Style points are important, Hajime. And Blueberry just kind of side-eyes you.
No, the teeth have a...
And then she hands the tablet off to Verna.
Oh, thanks, honey. So this mech she is thick with 2 C's, y'all. There are some big shiny plates over top of her that actually have a cold resistant alloy on them. It's just stocky and big and even tall. The mech itself has a Triton crown on top. It's a 3-pointed kind of crown, and the whole thing is in jewel tones of dark blues and dark maroon purples. She's got a great axe attachment for one of the hands that actually goes to... The hand comes into the rest of the arm, and the great axe attaches straight onto the arm, so it is an extension of the arm when it's in use. She's got these big tanks on the back of her mech, and you can't really tell what's in them. Some of them are smaller than others, but there's 4 tanks. And over top of those tanks, a shield clicks into place to cover them when it's not in use. She also outfits with night vision goggles and a special attachment that if she were to run into any sea creatures, she'd be able to turn that on and communicate with them.
Yo, she speaks space whale. Sorry, we can cut that out, but that made me laugh. I'm sorry.
No, don't you dare cut that out.
All right, so Blueberry and Allenby are kind of helping you guys finish this all up, and the armor's getting attached and whatnot. And you see not a Blackwood, just like a little exosuit, and it's working with Blueberry to help attach all these trailers to the back of the animal that you guys saw working on years ago. And it pulls out into the main courtyard, and you guys walk your Blackwood mechs out here, and you plop them down on the trailers and whatnot. And Commander Woodrow can be seen from his office window overlooking you guys, and just kind of gives a half-assed salute, and you see him pull out a small flask from behind his back.
That's a good sign.
The faith is overwhelming.
War is hell.
War is hell. And let's pretend we're not screwed.
I'd drink to that.
So, Blueberry tosses a couple bags of gear into the back of her truck, or in the back of this vehicle that she's using, and motions you guys to come in to get situated.
Oh, right. Just a moment. And Hajime turns around and hits a button on his personal data pad, and the mech that he was building in the room just kind of saddles up next to him after a few minutes. Scout drone.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I have room in the cockpit for it, but
that's fine. He can stick to the trailer that my mech's on.
Yeah, why don't you toss him into that storage container over there? That's where we got a couple of cots and a small kitchenette and whatnot. It's not all the comforts.
We have a much bigger kitchenette now. As I pat the top of the construct.
I mean, it's not all the comforts of home, but it's it's at least a warm and dry place to sleep. You guys haven't been outside the walls, have you?
Not since the moon exploded.
This is going to be a shock for you guys when we get out there. I'm just gonna let it happen. And she goes in and finishes up her assessment and make sure that everything's running the way it should be.
Truly a vote of confidence in us.
So whatever you guys are doing, then she's ready to go when you are.
All right, I'm gonna call shotgun.
Yeah, I'll get into whatever is considered the back seat.
Yeah, I mean, once you guys are in, it's more. It's kind of like a spaceship's bridge almost. Not exactly, not like a side by side car seating area. More like a small rounded off bench seat in the back and a small control panel with a map, and then like an actual pilot's seat.
Gotcha.
You guys ready to go?
As ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah? You sure? You seemed unsure about that. Was there something you wanted to do, Pat? I'm sorry, Hajime?
No. Nope, never mind. We're good.
So you see Blueberry flip a switch and these rock walls kind of slide out of the way, and you're just met by this long black tunnel. And she kind of turns to you guys and goes, "Hold on to your butts," and throws this thing into full gear, and it just takes off like a rocket. And you accelerate from 0 to 120 in 3 seconds.
That sounds unsafe.
I'm sure it's fine. As you guys go, you see the lights clicking on, but you're moving so fast that they're clicking on behind you. And she says, "Yeah, the best way to get out of this tunnel is to move as fast as we possibly can, because we only want this open for so long, so the radar can't detect what's going on inside these walls." So, as you guys get closer and closer to the end here, you see that the tunnel you're in is very quickly running out of tunnel, and the door is opening very slowly.
I'm sure we'll make it.
I just reach up and gently click everybody's seatbelts in.
And Blueberry is like, I think I timed this right. I think I did. And you just barely scrape through, and you kick off a taillight on the last trailer. It's fine. I have never once crashed into those walls.
I don't believe you.
Jeez, Blue.
Lock it up, Blue. We can't have that issue.
I mean, if I would have hit those walls, I wouldn't be driving you today. And you, as you exit this tunnel, you're airborne for a split second as you land back onto this rocky mountain road in just an absolute black torrential downpour. There's hurricane force winds going on. There's very little vegetation up here. The sky is dark and angry. There's lightning flashing around you. And she just she has this moment of, this sight never gets old. You are brought back a moment to remembering how it looked when you got here. Lush forest laid out in front of you, and green trees and grass and animals playing, and your typical mountain kind of area. And it is just a desolated valley lays out in front of you now.
Oh, this is just beautiful.
Well,
Verna's jaw just drops, and she can't even say anything.
not everybody was as lucky as we were with the walls and the shield we had going on overhead. And she just kind of looks somber for a moment as she's driving down this wall, or down the rock face here. So she puts it on autopilot as she gets to the bottom and kind of turns around and brings up the map. So what's the plan? Where are we going? Nobody's actually told me anything.
Well,
No one told us
that's
either.
good, because they also didn't tell us anything.
Commander Woodrow said it in the speech.
I believe Mora might have been the name of the city.
Oh, right. Somebody paid attention to the GM here.
Hey.
You get inspiration on whatever your first roll is.
Ooh.
Look, I assume the person driving us would know where the hell we're going.
That's fine.
Excuse me for putting faith in a teacher.
I am not a teacher, sir.
That's becoming amazingly aware.
Compulsive note-taking for the win.
That's just note-taking.
So she brings up more on the map, and you see there's a couple of options that you can go through. One of them is a very direct route where you are genuinely just driving down a road. The city is roughly 400 miles away. It's going to take you about 2 days traveling the way you guys do, give or take, depending on what kind of situations you run into. So you have the option of driving straight down this road. You can take a longer winding road to kind of try to avoid things, dodging in and out of a small mountain range nearby, or you can kind of follow this riverbed trail.
Do we have any knowledge of what the things that we want to avoid would be?
You have pings on your map, but the last time they were updated was about a month ago, so you're not entirely sure. Looks like there's 1 or 2 patrols in every direction, like in every path that you could possibly take to try to get there. At least at the 3 big ones. Or you guys can choose to completely ignore this plot hook altogether and hope for the best.
I mean, I'm all for the path of least resistance, but I guess it's a group decision, so I'm fine with whichever way y'all want to go.
I'd say the high road would probably be a best bet just by looking.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me.
Is a straight shot the high road? Is that the one that...
No. If you guys are taking the high road, that's like winding through mountain range. Is that what you wanted?
I feel like it's a little too easy to put traps on the straight route to there.
So then it sounds like your options are mountain or river.
I'm down for a little curving roads.
Yeah, that takeoff made me lose at least half my appetite, so winding roads, why not?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Blueberry kind of. All right. You guys are the military experts in this field here. I'll set a course. And you see her kind of fiddling with the map and kind of programs in a windy-ish road. It's probably going to take you closer to 3 days, just taking things safely. There is 2 small towns up that way. She asks you guys if you would need to stop at either one of them.
Is there anything of, like, information-wise, anything of, like, value at these places, or?
I mean, there's a couple of small groups of survivors up in both of those, and they might have some information that's useful to these situations and whatnot.
I'm wondering if maybe they saw the A squad come
Possible.
through.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can stop at least whichever one we come across first.
All right. So she kind of programs that in, and you're gonna stop at a small town about halfway to make camp for the night.
Cool.
So you guys are driving out across the flooded plains, for lack of a better term. You know, the sky is dark and dreary, and it's pouring, and there's lightning going on around you. The ground is remarkably solid. You're not like sinking into the mud or anything like that. But up ahead, you see like the indentation of tracks similar to the ones that you're currently making.
Oh, well, Verna, I think you hit the nail on the head. They may have gone through here.
Why, thank you.
Or it's something terrible that wants us dead. Like, there's no middle ground in this place, I guess.
No, I like option A.
It's same.
You may like option A, but option A may not be the option we fall into, unfortunately.
I mean, if anybody wants to get out and take a look at them, you guys can roll investigation.
Yeah, why not? I've got a +6 for that. Let's go.
All right.
23 for Achilles.
Cool. So you definitely recognize the tread pattern as the Blackwoods that Alpha Squad is running with.
All right, unpucker your assholes, gents. It seems like it's Alpha Squad, or was at one point.
It looks, based on, since you rolled pretty good there, it looks like they had actually taken up a small defensive position behind a small rock outcropping up ahead, and there are some scorch marks on the front of the rock.
Looks like they saw trouble here.
Well, something nasty happened.
Yeah, that's a fairly astute assessment of the situation.
I guess going over towards the rocks that have the scorch marks on them, if I kind of like look off in the opposite direction, do we see signs of anything else still like lingering in the area?
Looking off, you don't really see anything, but because you rolled so high, I'll allow you to be able to determine that these shots definitely came from an elevated position.
Right.
Like, now you can't tell how high, but based on where they hit on the rock and the scorching around it, you can tell it definitely came from the air.
Right, like the blast marks are kind of skewed downwards a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll kind of point in the general direction that they most likely came from. Be like, well, I guess we'll keep an eye open and continue through to the town.
Here, Verna thinks, and maybe puts this out to the group. Should we have someone in a mech just in case something nasty comes up?
I got a lot of range, so I can jump in mine just and sit in the cockpit just in case.
Cool. And then if we were gonna get in our mechs, about how long do you think that would take? Is it a quick thing to get back to the trailer and get in them?
So, like, from where you are right now?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're at a full sprint, it'll take you 30 seconds to get back to the trailer and about a minute to get, like, up and booted up. Like, you're not in combat. Like, you're not really dealing with anything at the moment.
All right. Yeah, I think if Achilles is all right with watching guard, I think that should be all right for now.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. And he'll saunter back to his mech and climb in and kind of put the mech on like general standby, like only the necessities turned on at the moment.
Yeah. So as you step into your Blackwood, since this is the first time that the audience is really seeing this, why don't you go ahead and describe the cockpit just a little bit?
Yeah. So unlike the outside, the cockpit is a little more comfortable looking, like a little more aesthetic. The seats mirror kind of what he wears over his jumpsuit, which is like a gunmetal gray with like white and blue gradient highlights. The dashboard has a couple bobbleheads. One that looks suspiciously like the commander. The rest of them are just kind of like baubles that he's either, found, had since he was a kid, or made throughout the years he was at school. He's got some dimmer lighting inside. It's more of like a really deep ocean blue lighting that's a little easier on the eyes. And he's got a cup holder attached to the side of the cockpit chair for his rather addicting caffeinated beverages.
All right. So as you fire up your Blackwood and kind of put it into that standby, a familiar click is felt in the back of your suit as the Blackwood physically connects with it, and it kind of tightens a little bit, like it's inflating, like the
G suit,
like the neural dampening. Yeah, like the dampening gel is kicking in to help you acclimate to that kind of speed.
Oh boy. But yeah, I'll keep it on like a passive mode right now, just for the sake of being basically booted up, but still kind of like crouched in like the docked position on the trailer.
Right, like you're hanging off you're ready to tactically deploy if need be.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, beautiful. Is anybody else doing anything outside of the mech other than getting soaked in the rain?
Isabel's just getting back in the truck. I'm tired of being wet.
Okay.
Oh, you guys got out of the truck? I was just kind of hanging in there, shouting out the door.
Over the comm link you hear, well, some people have to look for some kind of evidence, Hajime.
Other things, details aren't my strong suit.
All right, Geppetto, calm down.
Okay. So you guys start rolling again, and you're kind of following the rough indent of the tracks. It's not every foot there's a footprint, but on like the softer ground you'll see one, and you're just kind of on that same trail. You see more signs of a scuffle and another large outcropping of rock and tree that actually looks like something's been thrown.
Wait, like through the tree or through the outcropping of trees?
Oh my.
Like the best way I could describe it is it looks like something crash landed in a small forest.
All right. My mental picture is like, at first I was just imagining just a hole in a really big tree, but no, that makes much more sense than what I was thinking.
Like those tunnels they drilled through the redwoods.
Yeah, no, that's exactly where my brain went first. Absolutely.
No, not like that. Like something has crashed into these trees.
I'll go over the comms. Well, since I'm doing Overwatch, someone else is getting wet.
All right. I'll go check it out. Can I roll survival instead of investigation?
Yeah, I'll let you roll survival for that.
Cool. I have a +1 to that.
All right.
That would be 10.
You found, like, it wasn't graceful, but you managed to wander back, and you have found a crashed ship, roughly 100 yards back into the small wooded area. The ship is no longer on fire. The cockpit is cracked, but it doesn't look like anything has come out of it. Like it's like the cockpit is still down and closed.
I've got a downed ship over here. You want to join me in your mech for cover fire in case someone is inside?
Yeah, all right. I'll fire it up and step off the trailer and make my way through to where the ship is.
All right. As you guys get over there, like I said, it's been here for at least a couple of weeks now. But everything's all closed up. It hasn't moved. It doesn't even look like anybody's come looking for it.
I'm assuming not one of ours.
It's not one of yours. It is one of the Crucifixion Vanguard, which is the name of the enemy's air force.
Over the comm, Isabel, you'll hear. Do you want to? I guess we can try to crack it open, see if there's anything interesting to salvage.
Yeah, that was my plan.
Let me know if you want help. I'll crack over the comm as well.
I'll see if I can do it. If not, I'll yell for you.
I'll make my way over.
Now, you will note, as far as you know, nobody's ever captured a downed enemy ship.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Like none of these have ever been recovered intact. They've usually been a ball of flame when they land, if they're not the ones winning that fight.
Well, I hate to say it, but thank God for a torrential downpour.
Yeah, Verna's gonna stay in the truck with Blueberry for now, but she'll crackle over the radio. Y'all just yell if you need anything, all right?
Of course. And what do I got to do to crack this bad boy open?
All right. You aiming for the cockpit, or are you trying to rip off some weapon systems? What exactly are you trying to break?
I was trying to get in the cockpit.
All right, so you get up there, and it is still pressure sealed. You can't see inside because it's blacked out windows. Like, it's not exactly a window so much as it is an armor-plated shell, and you're assuming that it's probably, screened on the inside with, digital readouts of what's going on around it.
Okay.
I mean, you can try strength, but I can tell you that you're going to need something bigger than you to open this thing up.
It's fair. I would have to get back to the mech to do that. And I don't have the tools to do this to make it the technical kind of way.
I do, and I'll out of the right hand of the mech will come not necessarily like a cutting torch, but kind of like the fingers are almost like multi-tools.
Okay.
Taking the form of my tinker's tools.
Okay.
And I'll try to act instead of the cockpit. I'll see if I can actually find like a hull door where they would actually enter the ship.
It's like a fighter. It's not like a troop transporter.
Okay, so it is the cockpit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Think like a super advanced like F-18.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Makes sense. All right. Yeah. I'll try to slice and pop the seal.
All right. You said you're going to use your tools for that?
Yeah, my tinker's tools.
All right. Go ahead and roll for that then. We'll see what you pop loose.
Okay. And I am regular proficient. Okay. That is only a 10.
All right. I mean, it wasn't exactly that difficult. It was cracked and damaged and whatnot. And you pop this thing loose, and there's not actually a seat. Instead, there is a long like computer terminal.
So it seems to be like unmanned.
Yeah, and there's 4 orange lights at the back, and you hear a very distorted voice speaking, but like not a language you can make out.
Okay. And obviously I don't know if this is a thing or not. Is there any way to try and jerry-rig a connection to try to like download any information that might be on the ship's computer?
Not with what you guys have available.
Okay.
But your buddy Hajime might be able to rig something up, or you might be able to find something in one of these towns you're going to.
Okay. I'll call over the comms and see if Hajime can come on over and see if the two of us can brainstorm something.
Alrighty, here I come.
I'm gonna over the comms. I'm gonna actually ask Blueberry if there's room on the trailer to be able to bring this toy with us.
Like the whole ship?
I mean, like we could probably just rip out the computer, but like let's see what Hajime thinks and see if we can salvage something to bring back.
Like I don't think I've got enough room for a ship unless one of you guys wants to walk the rest of the way.
It's a fair point. Probably not good for the batteries.
No, probably not.
But yeah, so I figure Hajime and I will put our heads together and see if we can jerry-rig something.
Yep. Let's see here.
What's your...
I'm sitting on an 18.
Okay, same. So I will give Hajime the help action on whatever the roll is.
All right. So we want the black box out of this essentially, or...
Yeah, like black box, hard drive. I'm not sure exactly how these are put together, so I figure that between the two of us, we could probably figure it out.
All right. Oh, Mr. DM.
Yes.
Since there's technically no such thing as magic, does my Arcana skill count as a technology skill?
Yeah, that would be your tech skill in this game.
Fantastic.
Ah, good to know.
Then, with a switch of goggles from the night vision to a set with bifocal, or like multifocal lenses, I cast air quotes guidance on myself to give myself an extra D4, and I'll take that advantage from the help action.
Okay.
And I will attempt to remove the black box and any other important components that could be useful.
So, are you saying that these are basically tech glasses then? Tech goggles?
Yep, think,
That is some tasty flavor. I enjoy it.
well, he's got 2 sets. He's got the night vision goggles and the working goggles.
So, when you flip over to your working goggles, you'll actually notice that there's a slight aura around around this device. That almost looks like a brain scan.
Like a people inside the machine kind of thing?
Yes. And about the time that you're gonna go ahead and roll for that then?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what you come up with before I decide what happens to you.
All right. Roll with advantage. Oh God. Really? 2 10s? You bitch.
Dang, son.
And then
you get your D4,
so an 18 in total.
All right. So you managed to extract this data. You can't really make heads or tails of it, but if thinking sending it back to headquarters, they'll be able to get some useful information out of that.
Sweet. Before we head back to the truck, Achilles just wants to do just a small perimeter walk to see if anything might have been left behind by Alpha Team.
All right, cool.
Say I can roll another perception or investigation.
How about investigation or survival? Because you're in the woods, and either one would be applicable in this situation.
Fair enough. Let me yeeteth the dice. 13.
So with a 13, you notice that, I mean, you can obviously tell the direction this thing came from. You're not seeing any other tracks, and it doesn't look like anything's tried to land nearby.
Okay.
So this was definitely shot down, and it might have been the only thing that was up in the air.
All right.
Just based on what you know about these guys from, like, reading your reports and whatnot.
Okay. I will follow the rest of the group back to the truck.
And with you guys getting back to the truck, we are actually going to call it a session. And we will pick up next time with whatever it is Hajime thinks they want to do. So, before we officially wrap up for the night, does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns about what's going on here?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, all good here.
All right. Isabel?
Nope. All's good to me.
Hajime, what you got for me?
I don't. I'm good.
All right. Well, my name has been Mitch. Thank you for joining us on the Storm Gaming Alliance. Please like and subscribe. Come follow us on YouTube, and I believe we have a Twitter. If you would like to follow us there as well, that would be awesome. And we will see you next time on Mechanical Rain.